been a fan and member of the community since October of 2001.
Impressive.
I was one of the first 100 people in beta, just so show you how long I've been around with this game. With the coming of Going Rogue, the markets for heroes and villains, is there going to be any sort of merger of the two? Or if not, is there going to be a kind of status bar of you've gone too hero to use the black markets, or you've gone too rogue, or too evil in this case, to use Wentworths?
So there's not going to be a merger of the markets, but we do have some systems we're going to put in place that try to address a lot of the problems that that we do see with the markets. The fact that they're not merged, is one aspect of it, but there's, each individual problem of them not being merged can be addressed, and that's one thing that we want to do, because we do not really want to merge the markets. From a database standpoint, it's kind of a nightmare. So, because I shudder to think what would happen if everybody lost everything that they had on the market at once.
Ow.
So, what was the second part of your question?
Whether or not there's going to be, if you've gone too villain to use Wentworths or too hero to use black market.
So when a hero goes vigilante, then they can access the rogue isles, but they cannot access the black market. You have to be a full villain to do so.
Okay.
So, but they can eventually get over there. They can eventually, become a villain and use that market, and then work their way back to becoming, a hero and work in that market. So they actually can become a smuggler. If that's what you want to do, it's just not going to be, instant pop, 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 back and forth.
Okay. I guess then it's still going to remain, the economy is going to be player decision. What happens on hero side happens hero side with the trades, and what happens villain side happens with villains.
That's what we're going for, yeah. Okay. Thanks.
My question's actually way back to the launch of the game. There are basically 3 subscription models out there for any MMO. There's the WoW subscription model, which is we want all your money in the game and the expansions and subscription. There's the EVE model, which is we want your money for the subscription and then we'll give you free expansions, which is more the direction you guys are going. And then there's the Guild Wars model of we want your money and we'd like you to pay for the expansions as well, but you don't have to pay beyond that. You guys seem to be somewhere between WoW and EVE at the moment, and you've got some paid content afterwards, like with City of Villains when it first launched and now Going Rogue. But you've got the free expansion packs on top of that with the issues. I'm just wondering what the decisions that led to choosing that subscription model were, if you can give me any insight into that.
Well, let me take a stab at this answer. NCSoft, and you referenced, Guild Wars, which is also a game within the NCSoft portfolio. NCSoft has explored various different business models. We have XDeal, which is a free-to-play game, and then you buy NC Coin to kind of get access to powers and stuff like that. So I think, really, at the end of the day, NCSoft as a whole organization has experimented with various different business models, and we try to stick, with stuff or with content that is appropriate for those levels of revenue, if that makes sense, right? Because Guild Wars is not necessarily the City of Heroes experience. We have a lot of persistent zones. Guild Wars doesn't really. So there's a kind of pros and cons to servicing those types of games, and that's pretty much kind of like how it determines those types of revenue models.
Yeah, the fact that we do charge for things, we do put the extra quality into those to make sure that they are worth the money that you are paying. If we didn't put a price attached to them, then it would either be a far lesser quality or you wouldn't get it at all. So we do want to make sure you're getting as many things as possible. It's just some things we have to charge for to make them as cool as possible.
Okay. Thanks.
Hi, I'm from Virtue. Specifically with supergroups, and I'm curious how the alignment system is going to affect supergroup rosters and our memberships, because I have 2 groups, one's red side and one's blue side, and we have people that I know for a fact are going to go vigilante or rogue. So for me, it's an issue of how can I make sure that we're still providing services to our members, making sure that the group is addressing them, how base access is going to work. So I'm really curious how that alignment system is going to affect supergroups that are currently existing.
So, do you know? Okay. So No,
Yeah, Super Group kind of goes into moratorium. I mean,
Yeah.
once you switch sides, your influence, if you're a hero and you switch over, it kind of goes into a moratorium. And if you switch back, you get access to it again. So it's not like your super group goes with you.
Okay, so supergroups won't be able to have alignments themselves. So if it's a hero group, it's a hero group.
A hero group's a hero group, villain group's a villain group, but the players, when they switch, they will, I'm trying to remember if this is correct. This may not actually be correct, but...
you just kind of go ghosted in your current super group.
Yeah, you basically, you're still a part of the super group, but you don't add anything to it. If you come back to being a hero, you're back. All the prestige you earned is still next to your name, all that stuff. So, we want to make sure that you still have credit for all the work that you did in the original super group.
So if, let's say I have a hero that goes vigilante and then goes full villain, I don't actually lose access to I'm still ghosting in my previous super group. Now what happens if I join a villain group on villain side? Do I lose access to it?
You
probably have to.
I think we're going to make it so that you can join a villain group as well.
Oh.
So, all I remember was...
Don't spread this around.
But there's a very real chance that we just can't do that with the database, and so you'll have to eventually leave the other one. So. I cover myself.
It's promising.
Okay,
I'm not promising anything.
first of all, positron, put your helmet back on already. Secondly, are there any plans to do anything with the really crappy hazard zones that nobody goes to anymore?
They're crappy.
When's the last time you went to Dark Astoria on purpose?
Day job, man. That's it.
Obviously that's something that, I think I just had that question not too long ago. I would love to go back and revisit. It's kind of a toss-up. Do you want new zones, or do you want kind of rehashed old zones, or do you want kind of a mix in between? The Hollows originally is just a plain old hazard zone, and we completely gutted it, and we added mission content. That's actually a lot easier to do than scrapping the zone and starting fresh, or even geometry, adjusting it kind of like we did with Fault Line. So, I'm hopeful that at some point we can sort of, add some content to those zones to make them more interesting.
Yeah, and obviously, we would love to revisit it, but only when it makes sense, because it's not like we'll just redo Boomtown just because.
And then you don't get Pretoria. Pretoria, Boomtown.
So,
Pretoria's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you going to bump the difficulty up in Going Rogue? Because right now I can trio box the game with 3 different MMOs tanking it. It's too easy.
He's going to like the incarnate system.
Yeah, you'll like the incarnate system.
It's going to be as hardcore as, let's say, my days back in Legacy of Steel and PQ1. It's going to be that type of hardcore now.
It's there will be things that can challenge you, and you will be aptly rewarded for the challenges that you face.
And what can we expect to be at E3 coming on this year?
I couldn't hear that.
What can we expect to see at E3 coming on this year?
At E3.
Yeah, where at E3 we can expect to see it?
Nothing.
Too soon.
Paragon Unite's Virtue Server.
Yeah. DK in the house.
The inherent system for the archetypes, how each archetype has its own inherent. You've redone blasters, you've redone controllers. My question is there anything on the slate for redoing the Defender inherent? Because to me, it's virtually useless.
that's in issue 17, actually.
Issue 17.
Yeah.
The new Vigilance.